Okay, so here we go. I'm going to be off to the side. You can ignore me, but I'll be talking through some parts of it and going through different techniques as well that I use during the test. It starts right off with read and select. We have 5 seconds to choose the word. You don't have to use the entire 5 seconds, but you must choose it within the 5 seconds. And you'll see long letter combinations like this, and you kind of know, obviously, that that's not a word. So there might be some guessing that you will do at certain times during this section. Okay, we're getting through this part. Undershirt, yes. Okay, now we move to fill in the blanks, where you have 20 seconds to fill in the blank letters in the word. Now try to remember context clues. That means try to understand the words to the left and the right of the missing word. String. Limit access. What does limit access mean? What's the word for that? Restrict. Now you will see also that I do make mistakes in this test. So even as a native speaker, there are mistakes I make. And, we're not perfect. This test is hard for everybody. Immense amount of books, a lot of quantity. And the idea of me, and the reason that I left the mistakes in there is to show you that even if you make mistakes yourself, that it's still possible to get a very good score. So don't worry about areas where you don't know. It is always best to fill in the words, the letters if you can, but if you notice here, I didn't do it. It just went to the next one. I didn't know what that word was. Community here. Community, a spiritual community with the mountains. I had to think about that one. What's the adverb for huge? Hugely. Hugely successful. Wings that flutter. Okay, mixed language skills this. 3 types. Listen and type, read aloud, and read and complete. So let's take a look at these. We'll go through these together.
I tried a little bit of every dish. I tried a little bit of every dish.
You can play it 3 times. All the necessary information regarding format and structure has already been provided.
Successful relationships require effective communication.
Try to get as much as you can on the first listen. Successful relationships require.
Successful relationships require effective communication.
My cursor's in the way there. Is that in the cursor here? No.
Successful relationships require effective communication.
I'll be back when I'm ready. You have 1 chance to do that one.
It takes years of intensive study and training to become a medical doctor. It takes years of intensive study and training to become a medical doctor.
Sorry, I left my cursor in the way there during the test.
It takes years of intensive study and training to become a medical doctor.
And if you've noticed, my cursor is very big. I like a big cursor. It takes years of intensive study and training to become a medical doctor. Next.
The internet has changed life all across the world. The internet has changed life all across the world.
Changed life. It was hard to understand him, but it was the internet has changed life all across the.
The internet has changed life all across the world.
So we're correct there. Make sure you get your punctuation in. The internet has changed life all across the world. Thermodynamics is the study of energy and its transformation from one form to another.
She loved to fixing cars. She loved to fixing cars.
Hi again. For some of these, I didn't let the entire timer tick out, but I did want to show you on this first one what you go through when you're filling in the particular letters. Remember that the first sentence is always complete and the last sentence as well. And there are words sometimes that repeat themselves, so that'll help you when you're filling the blanks in here. You might see repetition of vocabulary. I got a little stuck on this word, and it's the word doned. It finally came to me at the end. D-O-N-N-E-D, which means to put on. Come on. You can do this, Lance. N-E-D. He doned his shoes. It took me a while, but I think I still have, I had 9 seconds and I finally got it at the end. So doned. Good. These were built by skilled laborers who were paid in goods and supplies.
When he stood up, he realized that his leg had fallen asleep.
This is the mixed skills section where you're going through these 3 question types. That'll be the third part of the test.
When he stood up, he realized that his leg had fallen asleep. When he stood up, he realized that his leg had fallen asleep.
You have the time, you can listen 3 times. I've been working on my application and trying to make it as strong as possible.
We've ascertained the truth. We've ascertained the truth. We've ascertained the truth.
The voices change. Okay, I think this one I skipped through it because I didn't go through the 3 minutes, but I may have made a mistake or a spelling error in there. I'm not sure. Logic that individuals who come in with expertise in a topic.
Psychology teaches us that our behavior influences our beliefs.
Psychology, P-S-Y-C-H-O-L-O-G-Y, teaches us, I think he said.
Psychology teaches us that our behavior influences our beliefs. Psychology teaches us that our behavior influences our beliefs.
Good. And you get to meet so many new people from all over the world. Okay, interactive reading is 2 parts. I'm sorry, it's not 2 parts. That's interactive listening. There are 6 sections on this question type. I know I'm going quickly. Let's select the words. In this particular one, it's Okay, interactive listening. It's important to read the topic of the conversation at the very top of the screen first. I think I do scroll up to do that momentarily. And you want to know who you're talking to and what you're talking about. You and your friend have recently gotten a part-time job as a lab assistant, and you're discussing
It's going good. I'm really enjoying it.
how the job's going. And these were there were two here that I were thinking of choosing, and I happened to choose the incorrect one. Lab assistant, I chose the wrong one, if you notice here.
Yeah, it's a lot of work. But it's really interesting to see how everything works and to be a part of the process. Yeah, definitely. I'm just glad that we were able to get these positions. Absolutely. Everything is really organized and planned out ahead of time, which makes our jobs a lot easier.
I think I was running out of time here at the end, but I think it's submitted properly. Okay, writing about a topic. You have 5 minutes to write about a topic. This is interactive writing, where we have 5 minutes on the first section and then 3 minutes on the second. Many believe it's important to learn about the environment from an early age. What environmental topics are important for children to understand? Explain your opinion using details and examples. Now, I'll zoom in a bit. I find that when we disagree with topics, we write more fresh. Our writing is more original and sharper. My examples are better. I come across more believable. And that's just my take on it. So disagreeing can be a very good technique for writing. All right, the second part says expand on your opinion by discussing how the concept of natural resources plays into the environmental topics that you believe are important for children. I continue to say I still disagree. I still think it's not vital for young kids to focus heavily on environmental topics. Good examples. You can pause it to take a look at what I wrote here and see how the writing is structured.
Talk about a time when you or someone you know won a prize. Talk about a time when you or someone you know won a
You have
prize.
3 times that you can listen.
Talk about a time when you or someone you know won a prize.
I'd like to talk about a time when I won a prize, which was actually a gold medal in 1987 in the long jump competition in high school in Avon, Connecticut. It was a very memorable time because it was the first time I'd ever really won a gold medal in an event like that. I'd practiced for quite a while, jumping only for about 2 years, so I wasn't expecting to win. I was just hoping to place somewhere in the top 5. The event itself was pretty exciting, but it was nerve-wracking as well. I remember standing at the edge of this sand pit, focusing on the technique and getting my steps down. I'd been practicing over and over to build up speed on the runway and take off at the right point with a perfect stride and landing as far as I could. I remember when my name was announced as the winner, I had beaten out somebody who had won the year before, so I was almost in disbelief, but I felt incredibly proud. I think what made it more special was that my father showed up just in time for the final jump that I made, and he was busy on a Saturday doing a bunch of things, but he came, and that made the whole experience unforgettable. So winning the gold medal probably remains one of the highlights of my life, not just because of the achievement itself, but because it taught me about perseverance. Now we have 90 seconds to speak about this image. The unique image depicts a beautiful museum with a grand hall that feels impressive and very welcoming. It includes tall arches and carvings at the very top of the image, and you can see massive glass ceiling that allows sunlight to stream in, making everything look bright. On the left side of the image, you can see rows of detailed arches and balconies, which add a lot of character to the space. At the top of the image, the chandeliers hang from the ceiling and they really stand out. They look very golden, giving the museum rich and an elegant feel. This photo was taken sometime during the day because the sunlight is shining through the glass on the rooftop, lighting up the floors and displays. I may have finished a bit early there. Okay. Read then speak. Again, 90 seconds. I'd like to talk about a time when I was especially productive at work, and this was when I was responsible for putting together presentations on every Saturday to recruit English teachers in Seoul, Korea. Every week, I spoke to a group of about 70 to 80 different people about teaching English as a second language, and the talks were pretty engaging, I felt, and interactive, focusing on practical teaching methods and what they could expect in the classroom and certain survival skills as well. To stay focused and productive, I made a structured plan for each presentation. I made sure that the content fit the audience, and there were some interactive elements, question and answer sessions and breakouts, and we practiced on how to speak confidently in front of a classroom. I also reviewed feedback for each session so that I could improve for the next one. It was difficult. It was challenging. I stayed organized. I prepared ahead of time, and it really helped me manage the workload. The result was that these presentations were highly successful, I felt, and many attendees signed up for the program, were recruited and became excellent teachers. Okay, the writing and speaking sample, which is the end of the test. What's the most unusual food you've ever eaten? Why did you decide to try it? And how was the experience? Again, I'm skipping through this quickly. I'll zoom in. This is in 92 when I went to the Philippines and I ate balot, which is a half-born chicken. I got dared to do it. You can pause the video. You can see the structure I used. And that is a 5-minute writing test. Now I go into the speaking sample. There are many different types of intelligence. Do you agree that or disagree? Use examples from personal experience and observations to explain your perspective. I'll let it go for itself. I do agree with this statement. I think it's talking about different types of intelligence in terms of logical intelligence and maybe emotional intelligence, which gets into the realm of feeling. I think that it isn't just about being logical and solving problems, math problems, if you will, or scientific equations. I think when you talk about intelligence, there's a part of it that is emotional, and it can be very helpful in different scenarios. For example, you could be a very logical person, but you may not be able to figure out emotional situations. You could have a very high IQ, but you might be responsible at work, for example, in solving conflicts and building strong teams. And I think somebody who has a very high emotional intelligence will be able to do that in a different capacity than somebody who's logically intelligent, if that makes sense. I think both are important when it comes to, let's say, business, because I think you have people in business that are able to solve things logically and analyze situations. And I think that the emotional part of it in business or corporate situations is that you can analyze and structure a business logically, and that would work perfectly there. But when it comes to motivating people, I think you would need a certain amount of intelligence to motivate a team and inspire them. They are complementary. They're not adversarial. They're not in conflict with each other. So I think both work well together. And there it is, 140 to 150. I finished a little bit early on that last speaking sample. Shows you the IELTS and the TOEFL equivalent. So that's a very good score. And again, I made some mistakes. I didn't finish some sections as well, where it automatically went to the next section. But that just gives you confidence to show that even if you make some small errors, don't speak perfectly, all of your words don't come out the way you want, you can still do very well on this test. So thanks for watching, everybody, and good luck.